Yeah, Sahaj's deck box is a suitcase. All right, looks like a triumph to start off the game for Sahaj. Looks like the teamer won.
Okay.
And here's a ponder for Force of Phil. So again, these are matches from my LGS this past Monday, the day of the ban announcement. And that's a Caracas on Sahaj's side. So we're not going to see expressive iterations or white plumes in this match. Or in any matches on today's stream. This is a post-ban tournament, exactly. Same day as the bans. And we had pretty good turnout. You know, when you have a ban announcement on the same day as a tournament, you know, some people are like, well, like myself, I had a deck with white plumes all sleeved up, ready to go. I had to make a last-minute change. We probably had some people that said, well, I guess I'm not going today. I don't have time to put another deck together. But we still had a pretty good turnout. We had just about our usual amount of people, which is about 15, 20 people. All right, there's a Wasteland on Mystic Sanctuary from Sahaj and a pass. So not much going on yet in this game, which is to be expected with two control decks going head-to-head. Discarding Terminus to hand size is Phil. So maybe the Wasteland is pretty good there.
Go ahead.
All right, I wasn't sure if we were going to see a Loam. Okay, looks like an end step endurance is happening here for Sahaj, which is the first creature hitting the board in this game. Shen says one guy I know salted off because Initiative was the first Legacy deck he invested in. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately with bans, and I'm sure Wizards is aware of this, and I'm sure everybody watching is aware of this, there will be people who are unfortunately negatively affected financially to some extent.
And you have now 5, 6 in hand after that, then.
I have a full grip
So you
set.
have full 7 left as you move.
I'll toss these again.
And people have been telling me who play Commander that White Plume is played in Commander, so there's a chance that card could be worth a couple bucks still. I don't really know. It's obviously not played in Modern or Pioneer, so its only chance for being worth anything will be from Commander.
Results.
All right, a Brainstorm here on Sahaj's side, in case anybody doesn't recognize the Strixhaven Mystical Archive Japanese version. Sahaj has been getting pretty wild with the 4-color list we see on the right side of your screen. If you're interested in either player's lists, they are posted in our Discord. Although I don't know if either player has updated the list significantly since the ban. Yeah, White Plume is still in Vintage, but that barely affects anything as far as MTG Finance stuff. Is Red-White Initiative still viable? It seems like it would probably still be viable.
Somebody's going to cast Comet?
Comet hitting the stack and fully expecting that to get interacted with. Force pitching to Ferry. Force pitching Dress Down to protect Comet. As most of you that watch this channel are aware, Comet is a problematic card. Flusterstorm will counter Force of Will, though, and that'll stop it right there.
Everything.
Teferi Time Raveler hitting the board here for Force of Phil. Hype Train Conductor Wedge says time for the Red-Green Initiative comeback. Yeah, I've heard that Under Mountain Adventure has now been added to MTGO or will be. And maybe we'll finally see some Gruul Initiative or Gruul aggro decks make their mark on the format. All right, another Brainstorm for Sahaj. Teferi Time Raveler is ready to go on Phil's side.
Cast another Comet.
Another Comet hitting the stack here for Sahaj. Force pitching Force. So Force of Phil. Casting Force of Will once again, and Comet is countered a second time.
You missed the swords on gaining 3 then.
Oh, I gave you the life. Yeah.
Because I should be at 1, 2,
Yeah, you're at 18.
3. I should be at 17. Fetch double force.
Okay. Yeah, I accidentally gave you the life on my life card. So 17 to 18.
From
So I got force, fetch, 3 fetches and a force,
Okay.
plus gain 3.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Force, fetch, plus gain 3, so you should be at.
yeah, 19.
Somewhere
Okay.
under that, target player shoves up the 3.
One in hand, go ahead.
Okay, players figuring out life totals and making sure they're correct. Teferi gets plus.
Slimus.
Okay.
Good.
All right, here's a counterbalance on Phil's side. So Phil's lock pieces are starting to line up here. Here's another. Oh, all right. There was another comment, but it is a Minsc and Boo, actually. Predict revealed on top by counterbalance. And Minsc is going to do its thing here. It looks like Hamster is going to be entering, and Minsc will be plussing, targeting Boo.
Just 6. When he comes in,
gain
you
1.
discard, lose 3, go to 10. I gain 3.
All right, so swords actually happen on Boo with the plus ability on the stack. So Minsc will have to wait till next turn to try to make an attempt to remove Teferi, potentially. Teferi plus. It looks like Phil's hand is Predict and another Teferi.
Upkeep, right? Upkeep, trigger.
Yep.
Go to draw. Activate.
All right, looks like it's going to work this time. Boo will get the pump. Teferi will be removed from the battlefield.
Go ahead.
So let's see if Phil tries to... All right, so Phil scoops it up. All right, looks like Sahaj is ready to go, as I feel like my lip is bleeding. Nope. All right, one card goes on the bottom for Sahaj. Triumph pass once again to start the game. Misty Rainforest for Phil.
Sure.
All right, that's a ponder for Sahaj. And I see people asking in the chat, this is post-ban Legacy. I'm not sure if there's still confusion on that, but this is after the bans. MTG Banding says Myra was tested for 1v1 gameplay and therefore is a Legacy pillar alongside Brainstorm, Shuko, and Taiga. Exactly. And makes a lot of sense, much like Sylvan Library. All right. So just land drops happening here so far besides the ponder for both players.
Target myself.
Portent, target himself, says Phil. Yeah, what is Sahaj's playmat? Is that Life from the Loam? I should probably know. I'm actually not sure. I think it's Life from the Loam. Is it a good thing or is it sad that I can recognize a Magic card just from the art? Is that should I be proud of that or should I feel sad about that, chat? New donation from Dave. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. New coffee subscription. Andreas, thanks for the sub with Prime. Appreciate you. All right, Comet's hitting the battlefield here. This could get crazy. Usually Twitch chat goes crazy when Comet resolves.
So there's like actually a pretty good chance you're forced to
That was your first pitch.
I considered like
This is my hand. I was like, I was waiting to call this off. Just give me a small.
If someone could recognize all the card arts around Force of Phil's playmat, I'd really be impressed.
I found 0.
Do you want to cut me?
There are a few that I don't know off the top of my head.
Brainstorming response.
All right, brainstorming in response to Comet. My bad if I said it resolved. It actually did not resolve just yet, it looks like.
This deck is just I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, some people do not like cards like Comet with the dice rolling because they don't like games with variance. And it really all makes a lot of sense.
Predict target myself.
All right, here's Predict.
Did you cut?
It wasn't really
It's just I'm gonna fetch a volcanic power blast.
Okay, looks like a fetch of Volcanic Island and Power Blast on Predict here. Sahaj aggressively going after Predict in response to Comet. It's hard to say if this is the right play or not because we can't see the hands. Phil might be reacting here. All right, so we have the stack getting laid out in front of us.
like the games are done, like that, and items.
Pitch ponder targeting.
What if I didn't?
Force pitching Ponder, targeting Comet, and the Pyroblast not looking great at the moment. Okay, it seems like Sahaj has acknowledged that Force of Will resolves because it's been placed in the graveyard.
This will be.
Yeah, I'm far from next.
All right, so all 4 cards get thrown in the trash, and that whole exchange is complete. MTG banning with a highlighted message. Always love it when you assemble cards into a stack like that. You know something good is about to happen. Yeah, we've had some excellent stack moments on this stream.
It should be 17. 2 pitches and a force. I'm going to put the Predict back on.
Okay. It means you can't be the target of spells or abilities, right? Yeah. Okay.
Draw for turn.
Jace the Mind Sculptor resolves.
I just want to see how this.
MTG Banding says Daze is the ultimate variance card. Prove me wrong, YouTube commenters. Yeah, we'll see what the YouTube commenters have to say. We're probably going to get a lot of interesting ban, unban related stuff on upcoming videos. It's going to get interesting.
No, you just do as much as you can.
I'm not so sure.
I mean, I can look. What's it, ley line?
All right, Jace survives for another turn. Triumph of St. Catherine right off the top. Triumph of St. Catherine has a lot of fans in the Legacy control player world. Despite being from Universes Beyond, which we didn't want. And we still don't want on MTGO. Right, everybody? Whatever you do, Wizards, don't put Universes Beyond on MTGO. Don't do it.
Okay.
Right, everybody?
Got it. So yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Red Blast on Jace. Trying to remove Jace from the board with a removal spell. Phil thinking about it. Honestly, I hope they add the damn 40k cards to MTGO sooner than later because I'm kind of tired of waiting. I don't even use the program. I don't even have a CD-ROM drive on my computer to play MTGO. Husey, thanks for the sub with Prime. Thank you, thank you. Another Triumph of St. Catherine. It looks like they got a scoop from Sahaj. Waiting for Sahaj to finish this mulligan. 2 cards going on the bottom. There's a portent for Phil. The land on Sahaj's side is a Misty Rainforest. Portent Shuffle. So Phil will draw on Sahaj's upkeep.
I'm going to pass the draw.
Caracas pass. Phil cracking and finding an island. Not giving Sahaj's Wastelands any targets after game 1. Hit a Mystic Sanctuary early on. Ruffy, thanks for the follow. There's another portent for Phil. Carpet of Flowers could be big if it resolves. All right, so Carpet of Flowers resolves. Sahaj potentially gets 2 extra mana this turn.
Yeah, 2 green.
Okay.
Sorry. My mana base is off. Yeah. Yeah, 2 blue. Sorry.
Sure.
Fetch for Tropical Island. Come to cast Uro.
Okay, so Uro using 2 blue mana from Carpet of Flowers and fetching a Tropical Island. So Sahaj. Brainstorm in response to Uro. Satel says, still think Carpet is only good against blue decks that play wastes like Delver and Dust Shadow. I don't know if I agree with that. I've played Control Mirrors and gotten Carpets down, and they've done pretty big damage. What does everybody watching think? Does anybody agree with Satel? Having a lot of mana could be a pretty big advantage. I could totally be wrong, though.
Results.
Trigger on the stack. Yep. I get to revolve. I'm going to draw a card first, put the land out, and then I can respond to the evoke stuff, right?
Yes.
Alright, so
You're good.
I'm going to draw. Sure, so I'm going to gain 3. I'm going to 22. Draw. Okay, land. I'm going to bounce him back.
Yep.
Okay, Caracas will bounce Uro back to hand, so Uro will be available next turn, potentially. Here's a basic plains for Phil, it looks like. Nope, maybe not. Harry says Carpet is best against tempo, but they are still amazing against any island deck. They are basically soul rings. I agree with that. That feels right to me. All right, here's a counterbalance hitting the stack for Phil after playing a Misty Pyroblast in response. Flusterstorm to protect counterbalance. Looks like it's going to resolve. Counterbalance will be a pain in the butt for Sahaj going forward. Just want to take a quick moment here to thank some of our YouTube members. Jonathan Salvador, thanks for becoming a member. Hit the join button on our YouTube channel, everybody. And a special thank you, a huge thank you to now 2-badge rare member, 2-year badge rare member Bob Patterson Jr., truly a pillar of the 90s MTG community. Thank you, Bob, for 2 years of membership at the rare tier on our YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. It means a ton to me. And it's just huge support. So thank you, Bob. Hit the join button. Otto, thanks for the resub. 4 months for Otto. Appreciate that. Costa says playing a turn 3 Comet with counter magic backup seems quite strong. Carpet can definitely do stuff and control mirrors. Agreed. All right, Sahaj doing the Uro thing again, it looks like. Bouncing Uro. There's a blue floating. Carpet made blue.
Blue green.
X is 2. Prismatic ending on counterbalance. I'm not sure where the white comes in here. Oh, using Caracas. Okay. No, not using Caracas. I'm not sure how Sahaj paid for that. I thought the Savannah was used for casting Uro, but maybe I'm wrong.
I play main Perfect.
But counterbalance has been destroyed, it looks like. Predict back on top. Counterbalance.
So 4.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who are big fans of Phil's decks because of the altars. They do look even better in person. Seeing them on camera doesn't really do them justice, honestly. Here's Uro, once again.
Chopped out. Okay.
There's Misty. Oh no.
Okay, Caracas bounces Uro once again. Brainstorm using one of the floating blue. That looks like there's one blue left.
That's the only reason to get stuff that the format is going to check, right? Because if you don't play interaction, you just stop, which is good because otherwise people would just play the most disgusting combo ever and have no pressure at all.
This is why I know I think there's probably going to be I just thought I can like do this stuff. Now you can't do that, but I can choose to use the player. Yeah, most likely to be two. When you get the recharge the bushwhacker, it's really good. Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
And the deck was viable because I just didn't work.
All right, shuffling away the extra cards from Brainstorm using this Flooded Strand, finding a Tundra. Moving on, using the blue. Brainstorm.
And then like 2 dismounted. I was on the fence about that.
I played a land this turn. Yes.
I honestly don't know.
Yes, I did. I played the Flooded Strand prematurely instead of bluffing that I drew it off.
Okay.
You never really needed the dark.
See all.
Yeah, I definitely would have kept the dark depths at least a couple.
All right, putting 2 back with Brainstorm. His turn taking a minute. Looks like a gesture to pass. All right, so back to Phil. Ponder here. And Phil will get a chance to set up with this counterbalance a bit. We saw on a previous stream, Phil was able to put a 4 on top for Minsc. Or Comet. Curious to see if Phil uses that same strategy here. At any point in this game. This is game 3.
So you have 3 blue.
No, I said down.
Yeah, fuck that up. Yeah, so 3 blue, 1 blue floater.
Okay, so Phil leaving a 3 on top to Ferry. Reveal to counter Uro. So Uro is in the trash. Can't bounce it with Caracas this time because it was countered. Here's Myra the Magnificent. Tapping Caracas, so not leaving Caracas open to potentially protect Myra here. That seems sketchy.
Predict target myself in response with the counterbalance trigger on the deck.
Yeah.
Also, the red mana not being used. I'm not sure how both players are in agreement on what colors are being. I don't know.
I will counterbalance trigger. It is.
All right, Tundra revealed. Thwart returning 2 islands and a Mystic Sanctuary on Myra the Magnificent, so it's countered.
Picked up a Sanctuary? Okay. Jesus, okay, Ponder?
Counterbalance trigger.
All right, so responding to Ponder with a fetch to try and counter it with counterbalance. Looks like Sahaj has 1 card left in hand. Misty Rainforest revealed, and Ponder will resolve. So Sahaj could have paid for Myra correctly and then pondered with Trop or whatever. So I think we're okay. But I mean, notes to anybody watching: just be careful when your opponent has a lot of different colors of lands. These mistakes happen. All right, another counterbalance hits the stack and resolves for Phil. So a little bit tighter grip on what Sahaj can resolve here. It looks like Uro is going to get escaped.
1, 2.
Yeah, I think both players are trying to hurry a bit, so it's a reasonable enough situation to forgive some of the small errors that are happening here, but still good to be careful. Predict revealed on top, and it looks like Uro is going to resolve. Sahaj will gain the 3 life, draw the card, potentially make a land drop. Caracas can protect Uro, potentially.
I can't stack the land before the draw. The draw happens before the land, right? Just for future purpose?
I think you draw a card, then place a land. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, it's not like I misplayed that. I'm going to target Power Blast?
Yes.
Okay, so Mystic Sanctuary puts Pyroblast back on top for Sahaj. Has 2 counterbalances to worry about. There's a Ponder for Phil.
Yours only Ponder, right? this is remove 2.
Draw. Not gonna do anything first main for the carpet. Attack. Trigger.
Yeah.
Draw. Land. Second main, still not okay.
Whoops,
Have to
sorry
cast
about
Power Blast and a counterbalance.
that. Okay, so one counterbalance gets destroyed by Power Blast. Triumph of St. Catherine off the top for Phil.
Force of will.
Hardcast Force of Will. Phil has gestured to counterbalance, so that's on the stack on top of Force of Will, targeting this Triumph.
I think that's fine.
Swing. Trigger.
Phil down to 5 life. It's just under the overlay there. It might be hard to read. Sahaj up to 33. Uro gets in for another hit. Here's Predict for Phil. Knows the top card of the deck, of course. Flood Strand gets thrown in the graveyard.
Put Force of Will on top. If that's good.
So trigger.
Mystic Sanctuary trigger is being responded to by Endurance. Counterbalance trigger in response, Brainstorm. Triumph comes into play. Or goes on the stack, I should say. Teferi revealed for Endurance. Looks like Triumph of St. Catherine will resolve. Endurance, for some reason, being put back on the battlefield.
This will go on the stack. Counterbalance reveal. Trigger Force of Will on top. Unless you want to respond to this. Which means that this is still there.
No. Force will, it's gonna all go. Yeah.
Okay, so Force of Will go back on top of the library because Endurance is countered. And Triumph St. Catherine shows up.
Yes.
That's on top. The Teferi is underneath.
It is.
Draw. Okay. First main, black.
Yeah.
Using the black and 5 colors.
You want to rethink that.
What's that?
You want to rethink that one.
Oh my.
You know about this.
So six converted 6 though.
Okay, so Haj once again not tapping a red here. Made black mana with Carpet, trying to X's 6 on Prismatic Ending. A Brainstorm in response. Phil helping out here, saying you don't want your Prismatic Ending to be with X equaling 4. There's no red mana being used currently. All right, both players missing it. Force of Will counters a Prismatic Ending, so Triumph will live. Uro attacks. Phil's able to gain some life, and Triumph will trigger.
Gain 5.
So active player, non-active player. So this triggers first.
Yeah.
Or you'll draw first. You draw because I don't block until you draw.
Yeah. Draw. No land drop.
Block.
Trigger. Yeah.
All right, the Triumph of St. Catherine dies. Trigger happens here. Shuffling Triumph into the top of the deck.
I'm gonna fetch. I'm gonna
I mean, if this is competitive REL, right? The opponent, forget the counterbalance for a moment. The opponent goes Prismatic Ending X equals 4 using black. Volcanic Island not tapped. Do you just say that resolves? Or do you call a judge? What would you do in that situation, Chad? I'm curious what people would say they would do.
I'm gonna play the wasteland and wait.
Because red was not used. Do you just say that, okay, that resolves, and then just don't move your triumph off the board and make your opponent figure out what they did wrong?
I only have one as well. I almost bought 3 more workshop at
Force of Phil chiming in. I should pay more attention to colors being used. I was so much more focused on clock. It's completely understandable. It totally makes sense. You guys were both rushing.
First thing I can think of.
But this might be a big deal, but it's not gonna help.
I think I'm with Shen here. Say it resolves and then call a judge if needed. Yeah. I think it is a legal play. It just would not resolve. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it would not exile Triumph, rather. It would resolve, but...
I thought you dimmed the lightning bullet. I thought you could have copied on the last turn. You got me.
You can only do the copy and when combat damage happens.
So remember, Dave, it's the next spell, so you can't like play the spell then do the copy. You have to take the because you did it in the opposite order. Then I just want to make sure you,
Okay.
Yeah.
because you said bolt then copy.
At the end of your turn, just gifted a sub. That's 28 on the channel. Thank you at the end of your turn. I appreciate that. What's good, Benucci? What's good with you? Thank you for being here. Thanks for the sub.
Someone will probably get you on that later. That's why I'm saying. Yeah.
You also
Here,
get
fine.
surveil triggers.
You do, yeah, that's probably true because they have.
You don't. Yes.
Oh, you don't?
You do not.
Oh, because surveil says when or
Yeah.
DRC says when you cast.
He only did the...
Yeah.
He did that right.
Yeah.
He didn't do like 3.
No, he never
He
did
didn't
it.
stay up with 3 brace. Because then you could just bid everything.
Rangecraft though.
Okay, Sahaj doing the Uro thing here, which we all love. Remember when everybody wanted to ban Uro, everybody? Remember those days?
I ran myself into a cycle days there.
I didn't have days, so we were playing around days the whole time.
Remember when everybody was complaining about Kappa Cannoneer?
Jam counterbalances turn
Because if it
2
was that
Yeah,
easy,
that-
straight into days because
No, the same logic why I did that with game 1.
yeah.
but no one does.
I need
All right, here's a ponder for Sahaj. Everything resolving. Thwart is the card on top of Phil's library, in case anybody's confused here why counterbalance isn't happening. It has no effect right now.
I had run afoul, then it would have to be up to you to deal with
But
the
it
first
does
time. But
nothing.
you had fire foul.
In my opinion,
Okay,
to
no problem.
weaken the deck significantly.
I don't think the deck's gonna exist
Yeah.
as far away anymore.
Yeah,
think it'll
I
be the
feel
way
like
they did
anytime you can trade a
Yeah.
Riptide,
Yeah, which is just like
Um,
already like just get
like,
rid of the mechanics.
not attacking with Riptide just
hate the-
always
I
seems
hate
It's
the
so
way they
dumb.
make
Yeah, yeah.
it.
Command your engines.
No, I don't think you did it
And I
wrong.
think
I'm
they
just
did a
figuring
good job
I
of
should
because it's white.
past run afoul and just like
So,
kept mine.
Other than your
Yeah.
popper where mono.
But I decided to stifle you
and
instead. I think
card
that's
with monarch is pretty much good.
yeah,
For a minute.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah, I think as far as the ending thing in competitive REL, we're not watching competitive REL right now. But if it was, for me, I'm saying to my opponent, yeah, that resolves. And then let them figure out what went wrong. Comet countered, an unfortunate misplay here for Sahaj with Thwart on top of the library. Throwing Comet right into it.
yeah.
It's gonna be like, oh no.
Players are rushing. We're in game 3. There's not a lot of time on the clock, apparently.
You cannot wait for one man Frodo. That's like rag.
Jace the Mind Sculptor bounces Uro, and Phil passes the turn.
No, it's gonna be like Root Race, and they're gonna be like 2 black, another Donkey Boy Walker in my deck, but they do something else fucked up again.
Legendary slow ring was
2.
Yeah.
2 green.
Okay, so it looks like we're in turn 2. If I'm not mistaken, that has now been indicated in the center of the table.
You know Herman,
3 blue.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
so I actually just spoke with him.
Yeah, oh, Gandalf's gonna do it.
Uro revealed Mystic Sanctuary off the top, and it resolves. Looks like Phil is at 10.
Yeah.
I've used
Yeah.
Turbo
Yeah.
Round
Yeah.
every time myself, and it's been fine.
Everyone discards first
But
turn,
I
second
got
turn
to
on
the
their
point
land.
where
And looks like now Uro is escaping. Thwart in response. We knew Phil had the Thwart. Double Mystic Sanctuary return to hand. along with a basic island.
What's his name?
I wasn't thinking.
Aragon. Good chart on
And he pointed out what they did wrong, and it was
Go ahead.
Yeah, so far.
impactful.
That's good. That's a good start. I want them to be like 88 playable and not legacy playable.
This should be turn 3 now, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, whatever card was on top is now on the bottom. Pass.
They're like
Someone
foils.
posted
They're probably real.
an excerpt of the IRS tax policy that says if you stole anything, you have to treat it as taxable income.
Great.
Yep.
True. It wasn't your income that year, I guess. Is there actually like a bullet in the tax code for it though? Like a.
I mean, it's
People in the background talking about taxes. Ugh, who wants to hear about that, everybody?
I believe it.
Imagine you go to a Magic tournament, you're just trying to have fun, and the people at your LGS are talking about their tax returns.
There's something about written being attempted to return this. They lose the game if they attempt to.
What a bunch of nerds.
So you got it's something like
What do you even write in on the tax form? Donation from the bank.
Results.
Okay, endurance will resolve. Everything has to be done here by sorcery speed. By Sahaj. It looks like another carpet hitting the board now.
The top two, you choose one. Your
Narset?
chooses land or not land.
Results.
Narset, Broker of Blood.
If it's one
I'm saying every time you look at the top two, you choose one.
No, your
and
opponent
they
chooses.
choose.
So you, it attacks. You look at the
Yeah.
top two.
Yeah, death and taxes, exactly. Remember death and taxes, everybody?
Stupidity.
Pyroblast has blown up Jace the Mind Sculptor, and we're passing the turn. Triumph of St. Catherine. I don't know what happened to keeping track of turns. Maybe that wasn't a turns die in the center of the table. Otherwise, this would be the final turn, I thought.
Arm wrestle your opponent.
End of turn.
That's the best of 7.
Okay. Upkeep.
If
Okay.
you never get
Deals bribes,
Do you have the swords though?
prostitution,
I have a sword.
or other illegal activity.
So it's like Bob.
I can't believe I just played. I love these games, but my brain is fried.
I just didn't respect it.
All right, Sahaj's brain is fried, everybody.